Greetings and welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee, and this is Goth Tarot, and it's our weekly exploration into shadow issues that may cripple or control our lives. So I'm going to get into that in a minute. We've picked the Dark Passenger as our main focus for this month. And I want to remind everybody what that's about, but we're going to start off with a reading from the Oracle of the Hecatean Path. And it's sort of like an invocation to, maybe, I don't know, a sense of darkness. I know people say, Hecate's not just a dark goddess. Yeah, okay. It's number 41, Hecate's Wheel, Cycles. Hecate's Wheel, Cycles. The wheel of Hecate evokes motion and serpentine energy. Our paths are not linear. They are repetitive, and we sometimes lose our direction, causing us to retrace already familiar ground. The serpentine energy of the wheel can usher in transformation, allowing you to shed the old like a snake sheds its skin. What habits do you need to break? What messages do you need to take heed of? What lessons do you need to learn? So once again, that was from the Oracle of the Hecatean Path as our card for the collective, our opening card. It's a good card though, because it symbolizes the fact, well, it's more than symbolizes the fact, but what we do here is try to help you out with shadow issues. Shadow issues can cause problems in your functionality, to put it mildly. We were working with the Dark Passenger, and the Dark Passenger, it represents really our sense to be disproportionately negative about ourselves, and that we totally limit ourselves from anything that might make us feel happier, make us feel more successful. A lot of times the Dark Passenger, I think we went through this in the beginning, really seems to come from your environment. Specifically, it could be how you were brought up, your family patterns, the things that reinforced you not being able to be successful, the kind of shadow energies put on you by other people who themselves felt this was put on them. And so it's really like a chain that's very generational, I believe. At least I think that's what we came up with in the original week. So now we want to give an update, sort of looking at where we are really with this. We're starting the third week. We've been at this 2 full weeks, and we want to know more or less, are things improving? Are we understanding what we need to transform, like Hecate's wheel suggests? What are we trying to accomplish that would make us view ourselves differently, so that we're not that failure, that we're not afraid to take chances? Now, granted, this may not be the shadow that you feel you're working on, but it is the shadow we're working on this month. So if you can use it, use it. But if not, no harm intended. All right, let's see. I think I want to move that one there. All right. So what is our general update? And it's the Empress. And the Empress would say, this is a good card. We are reaching out of ourselves a little bit. We are trying to find a way to address these situations that are maybe external to us. You know, when the Empress is upright, it shows we're bringing our concern and our care to the rest of the world. Now, part of this could be, of course, a distraction, a way of keeping a little bit of distance between ourselves and the recognition of this dark passenger that's kind of controlling us or limiting our behavior. But we're going to also take a look now at what else comes in or goes out because of this. Because to some degree, the Empress can represent our attitude, what we feel is being updated. But by my next deck, the Opaline Tides will show us either the quality or the essence or energy of what may actually be coming in or going out at this time. And by going in or going out, what I mean is any situations or personalities that maybe are causing an effect one way or the other. They're causing something to happen with how we're trying to order ourselves for the sake of absorbing the dark passenger, putting the dark passenger out there at the bus stop, so to speak, the metaphoric bus stop. So as this is going on, the Dark Tide asks, what other qualities are coming in or going out that might be affected or might have an effect? And it's the Six of Pentacles. And this could be saying that people around you, people in your environment, maybe the people that are generationally involved in the dark passenger, they might want you to share more with them or to be connected more to them. And so this could be a reaction to them seeing you changing your attitude and concentrating in different ways. So you could be prepared for the idea that this is a dysfunctional and codependent kind of quality here with the dark passenger, and so you may find that other people don't want you to move away too quickly. They're still thinking that they're sharing with you. They're a part of that process with you. All right. So now we're going to look at a different thing. I call it the dark avatar. And the dark avatar is basically that persona that we might create, that disguise we might wear to suggest to others that everything's okay, everything's status quo, or that maybe we are actually something else altogether. We're sort of disguising, we're creating a different persona, and so we're in denial about the qualities of the dark passenger, the qualities that are curtailing our freedom in life, or limiting our choices, or making us feel like we should not start something. So to combat or confront people that may be trying to help us, or just may be involved in our lives to some degree, we use the dark avatar to represent a quality of, no, that's not me, that's this. That's not exactly what's happening, it's something else. It's kind of similar in a way to anything else that's going on in codependency and denial. The idea that we might find something else to blame or scapegoat, or feel that is the reason why we're doing things. So to find that dark avatar, to make us understand or see that thing about ourselves in this, that disguise, I use the Lost Soul Tarot, and I just use the court cards and the major arcana. And what I'm looking at is, what is that disguise we're wearing? What is that way that we try to say, it's not really us, it's this. And it's the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is upright. And so the Queen of Swords tries to be a disguise of the dark passenger, or of you infected or afflicted by the dark passenger. And so the Queen of Swords says, I have to do these things. I have to create this order. I have to push this agenda, make these choices, guide us down this path. And it's a lonely job at top, but I'm doing it. So in other words, it's sort of like saying, like, without saying it strongly, it's sort of positioning yourself as a martyr, saying you have no choice but to do these things. And in a way, you're the anti-martyr, because you really wouldn't ever use that term or that voice. You would never say that you are the, martyr. You would just sort of let people figure that out for themselves, that you have to do what you have to do, and that may be avoiding dealing with your dark passenger. And so by doing this, you will only involve yourself in those things that either are proved by the generational negation of your freedom around you, or you'll only do things that you know will be safe and guaranteed. So, for example, going to a particular event might not work on your own, but going to that if you were in the company of other people who you probably don't even want to be around, but that would be able to happen. Okay, that was a long shot perhaps. All right, from the dark avatar, I'm skipping the mission, the dark mission of the avatar. I think it's just probably doesn't really need to be a card pull here. But I'm going to move ahead to the dark trick. And I use the Joker Tarot for the dark trick. And the dark trick is more than the avatar. The avatar is sort of our personality we might be wearing to say we're this, we're not that shadow. But the dark trick may be things we actually are doing that are either trickery or distraction. And this comes in most likely when we're being confronted, or when somebody is trying to possibly influence or show us, you know, our behavior doesn't have to be burdened with a dark passenger. So like I said, I'm using the Joker Tarot, and I'm asking that question. What is the dark trick? What is something we might do, employ, that deceives others from understanding what we're really doing? And that is mostly not taking responsibility. How do we fool others into realizing that maybe we're not really taking responsibility for things that we should be? You think? So what is the dark trick? And the dark trick is the reversed Four of Wands. The dark trick is saying we have to work on things that are closer to us, and that maybe we're looking at some things being really needing more work and really needing more of our focus. You know, the wands can be about how we focus towards creating things, but the Four of Wands is reversed. And so our dark trick could be saying that we're not able to put our energy anywhere else. We have to just, it's sort of like saying, you know, similar to that, you're creating the perception of that. This is what you're really saying, though, is like, well, no, I can't add my energy to the neighborhood cleanup project or the worship group's, you know, event or something like that. It's saying you're still making an excuse for why you can't do certain things, or why you won't do certain things, or why you won't try certain things. That's kind of a bam. All right, so that was pretty quick overall, because I cut a couple cards right there, but I wanted to add something new for everybody, because I recently, about a month ago, got a hold of this new item, the Shadow Seer Tarot. It's an amazing work. I mean, Banshee's already like, I want it, I want it. We're going to share it, Banshee, okay? But this would be suitable of setting up our monthly work like we do with the Oracle, the Cries of the Souls Oracle. So it's another really, what we think, important work in the annals of Goth Tarot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one final card from this. There's a number of great readings and a number of great concepts involved here, but I'm going to pull from the Shadow Seer Tarot one card, and the card will say, are you really doing it? Are you working on your dark passenger? So it's really like saying, it's not the update, it's really saying, are you doing this? You know, what is this? You know, can you justify working on the dark shadow? Can you justify that, the dark passenger? That's really what the problem is. I mean, maybe that's also another possibility here with this tarot, is that maybe this is suggesting at week 3 that the dark passenger is not totally what our problem is. All right, I'm going to have to look it up. It's the King of Swords, the Merciless. Although the King of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck can very specifically mean go to a doctor, or seek help and advice from someone smarter than yourself, it often appears when protective boundaries are needed. Boundaries are established not just to protect victims, but also, shockingly enough, to protect perpetrators. When a boundary contains a perpetrator, it could help them from becoming worse and keep everyone else safe. Usually, the first thing an offender will do when given a boundary is trample all over it, like a toddler who is told no. Then, we must enforce the boundary so that the toddler doesn't harm themselves or others beyond repair. The King of Swords is similar to the Justice card. When the merciless dark type appears, it means that one side of justice has been lost, that of mercy. The two pillars or sides, severity and mercy, are needed to balance the scales of justice. When we draw the merciless shadow card, we have come into a place where only severity lies. The boundaries have become too harsh or enforced too rigidly. With no mercy and severe boundaries, life is choked to death. We discover there are limits to our grace. The mercy we are willing to extend until that is, we need it for ourselves. Since this is a swords card, the merciless manifests an arrogant thinking that has crossed the line. The one who holds the shadow has been feeding a mind parasite that justifies its mind misuse of boundaries to punish. It self-righteously brings down a hammer to defend and protect. After witnessing many natural disasters, I can easily say that nature is far more brutally merciless than the arrogance of anyone. So mind your P's and Q's lest you draw her ear by placing yourself out of balance on the scales of mercy and severity. Upon completion of this deck, my family's home was lost to the Eden wildfire of 2025, and we escaped into the night. There is nothing quite like a devastating fire to help you understand what it means to have no reprieve, no argument, no rebuttal. Nature is harsh enough, I think. Humans can manage to muster a little mercy for each and for the creatures of earth. I was very grateful to receive grace from the community who offered mercy and helped balance what was taken by the flames. If you have drawn this card, you may be experiencing someone who is not showing mercy and whose boundaries have gotten extreme. Be cautious around them. There is seldom a need for such restrictions. Encourage them to lighten up. If they are just too mean, it could be time for you to take some space. Or you may have established strict boundaries for your own safety. But take a close look at whether the thicket of brambles you have enclosed yourself or others in is intended to punish the offender, seeking to cause them to suffer inappropriately or in excess. If extreme boundaries are needed, try and gather support and resources to assist you. And this is a lot to take in here. You know, quite frankly, like we mentioned the first week, the idea of the dark passenger could mean that there are really some behavioral therapeutic work you might need to think about. This card kind of suggests that too, but we have some questions to ask ourselves. Are you, in fact, the person of this card? Are you the merciless when dealing with your shadow? Or is it more likely that maybe this represents that generational tide or that focus that is sort of a gestalt of feeling coming to you from whoever is trying to inhibit you and cast that dark passenger on you? You might have to decide for sure how exactly that plays out in your life. All right, I think we are done here for this week. There's going to be a final week to hopefully wrap things up. I may have to repeat some of this information again, so watch for that. And don't forget to check out the other shows we have. Our live show, Tarot, TFT Tarot for today, After Dark, and that's tomorrow night, Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Friday morning, Oberon's Emotional Exchanges at 7 a.m. Join me for that. And then Saturday is Happy Hour. That's at 10 a.m. Happy Hours of Divine. Happy Message for Everybody. You know that. Sunday is Banshee's Material Matters, which is at 10 a.m. And then also is our live stream on Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you next time.